Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Good evening and welcome. We are getting ready for action live from the Arima Village Room. It's the Central MIC reboot. They're up against the boys from South, the Fortin team. I'm Gordon Pierre together with Rodan Abubakar. Rodan for an interesting conquer this afternoon. Good evening and welcome. We're here from the Arima Village Room. We're getting ready for action. It's the MIC Central Reboot. They're up against the Fortin Civic Center. I'm going to pair together with Rodan Abubakar. Rodan, good afternoon. An important one here.
Yes, Central FC, of course, looking to consolidate place. Their heels is Police FC and Salmon Jablate with 36 and 35 points respectively. Central sits at 37 and they definitely will want to end up with 40 by the end of the night, playing against a Fortin team mired at the bottom of the table. No win in 4 for them, just 2 wins all season. They've conceded, they've scored the least amount of goals in the league this year, and they're really struggling, but not for want of trying. They have tried hard, they have endeavored hard, but not enough quality I could see that could disturb the Central FC lineup tonight.
Well, we've got the starting lineups for you. For the boys from South, we've got the keeper, number 1, Terence Lewis, number 21, Jamal Tramer, number 3, Jabari Watson, number 9, Jeremiah Watt Niles, number 10, Akinola Gregory, number 21, fresh off a hat trick, Kellen Williams, number 16, LeSean Morris, number 18, Tequana Rodriguez, number 19, Brent Plenty, number 20, LeSean Alexander, number 27, Umari Beard. Well, for the boys in the Jersey black outfit, we've got the boys from Central. In goal, Jabari Price, number 21, the captain, Jamal Perry, Neptune, sorry. Number 4, Malik Mirez, number 5, Big Jamal Jack, number 6, the smooth Daniel David, the number 7, Tyrone Charles, number 8, Jamil Antoine, number 10, John Port Rochefort, number 12, Jesse Williams, number 17, Russell Jr., and rounding off the starting lineup, we've got Dominic Douglas.
Quality all the way through that Central lineup, quality and experience. Juxtapose that with Fortin's youth
that's
and
the
exuberance.
kickoff. We have Central. They'll be kicking from to Jesse Williams to Ford Douglas, and it's played to on the overlap. So it's going to be corner number 1 for the boys from Central. Of course, very good from set pieces. They've got lots of aerial power. When you say Jamal Jack, you need to look no further when it comes from aerial power. But you could add to that Russell Jr., Jesse Williams, as well as but he was unable to get any real power on it and clear upfield. So the ball just going out. Flicked on there by David, and here comes Ross Russell Jr., the flying wingback. Ball played forward into the path of Tyrone Charles. Tyrone Charles, still Charles, squared across. My goodness me, it's not cleared still, and for the spectacle.
Theatrical save there from Terence Lewis. Good positive start from Central. Not sitting back at all, taking it to the point, Fortin team.
Well, it's good corner number 2. And it's whipped in. Not the best of corners there. Just dropping a bit short, but you get another opportunity to put it in. It's been cleared out, but only as far as Ross Russell Jr. who goes back to Douglas. Douglas wider to Daniel Fingers David, the youngster who would have started his football at the Lahokada Rangers team. Douglas David goes back to Jesse Williams. Of course, Jesse Williams would have played his secondary school football with St. Anthony's as well as Mukarapa East. Talented youngster he is. That's a good turn. Neptune wider to the overlapping Ross Russell Jr., but just a bit too far forward for the...
Yeah, all Central FC early on here. I'm surprised at Point Fortin's high line. It's a bit risky against a team with such an attacking threat, and the threat in behind, especially from Ross Russell Jr., from Rushford, from Neptune. Those runners from midfield could exploit that high line.
Neptune. In fact, that's Antoine. He gives it away cheaply, and finally, Central able to come forward. Kellen Williams. Same shot, and it's easily handled by the man in goal and thrown out. On the original, it goes out of play. Originally, it was Bryce carded to start. Doesn't seem like it's Bryce in goal, so we'll get the man in goal there shortly, as we see Bryce is on the bench, but it's plenty. Ball played across the back. LaShawn Morris bringing it forward, goes back to Niles. Niles miscontrols, but it goes back to Watson. Watson goes all the way across. Well taken, and played into the area, but Neptune able to win out. Neptune coming forward. Ball across.
There's that high line that I mentioned that somebody like Ross Russell could exploit.
Pulls it wide, so Keller Williams, fresh from a hat-trick in the First Citizen Cup, just pulling that one wide. But the keeper just seemed to be lost at sea. Sometimes you make the change, probably for disciplinary reasons, putting your first keeper to sit, thinking that the opposition is not up to standard. But already we've seen 2 opportunities by Point Fortin.
Yeah, spoke about the high line. Also a high line with Central that has been exposed a couple of times from Williams here. He was excellent in the last game against Caledonia. This time he's playing as a 9. He played out wide in that game. But good positive start from him. And really and truly, perhaps they should have been in front.
So the ball just going out of play. It's going to be Point Fortin's ball. They would think that they should be up 1-0 already. Ball thrown in. controlled it well and trying to put it inside, but it's Neptune who's going to come away with this one, the Cookery resident, but he loses out, and Young Jones find Niles wider. Niles always wily, skillful campaigner Jones, and the ball just charged down. So point Fortin, after the early barrage from Central, they've settled and finding their feet here at the Arima Velodrome, but it's gonna go into the hands of the goalkeeper. He'll play it with his feet, taking his time, and he just drops it short to Jack, big Jamal Jack, former player at point Fortin. A shot from distance. It's high, it's wide. A half chance there. A bit of complacency at the back for Central. They were walking the ball, playing the ball in the danger area. I'm sure Coach Bryce would not be the happy. Coach Boyce would not be the happiest, but they get the restart going. Antoine, lots of room, finds Jack. Into John Paul Rushford. Neptune. And it's charged down another corner here. An opportunity there by Dominic Douglas. Just getting into the attack, so it's going to be corner number 3. In fact, it's gone for a throw. And it goes to Williams. Neptune. Back to Jack. Jack finds David. Of course, Daniel David, silky smooth. So the ball just kept in play as Point continues to fight for possession. And yes, some funny looking plays taking place there by the Point Fortin player.
Too much on the follow through,
and it's going to be a free kick for the Central team. You don't want to give them too many chances with the quality of Rushford on the ball and the aerial power they possess. It's like playing Russian roulette. The more chances they get, one will go in. Ball across, just headed clear. Back across, and they'll get another corner. So it's pressure mounting here.
Yeah, encouraging signs from both teams. Central, of course, in the ascendancy just at the moment, but Point Fortin have had their share of chances early on here, so they will be encouraged by that. They haven't come out timid at all.
It's cleared up in the air. Anywhere will do. Aimed at Williams, and it's just screened out there by Rushford. So it's going to be a throw. Barrel-chested Jesse Peters coming to take it, but Rushford takes it quickly. Plays it to Antoine, who finds David. The two men from Nelson Street, Port of Spain, East Port of Spain, just exchanging passes. Ball threaded through. That's a beautiful ball, but it's a bit too far forward, and it goes out. So it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, fine idea, but the execution not quite there. Overcooked the pass.
So you're seeing early attacks here by both sides. Central having the better of the possession, but Point will definitely think they had the better of the goal-scoring chances, Rodolfo.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a Williams in earlier on, and I'll be worried if I'm a Central FC fan about that big C word, complacency. When you play against the teams up below you, sometimes your approach to the game isn't what it should be. And they better ensure that that doesn't creep in today, because point out
So
right
forward
early on.
from Central, that's a good latch jig tackle there. So a lot of changes have taken to this point. Fortin team not seeing a trim as well. Ball across, still not cleared. And then Niles just committing the infringement. Well, it's blown the other way. So it's going to be a free kick for the point Fortin team.
Yeah, massive omission that is of Trim. He was a monster in the last game. He's really the leader at the back, strong, intelligent defender. And he would be a big miss for them today, coming up against this high quality opposition.
So the point Fortin team able to build here. The impressive Jeremiah Niles puts this one forward. Kieran Williams trying to continue his fine form. What a find this has been for the point Fortin team. After the carnival break, they picked him up. He came on and changed, spun a game on its head. And since then, he's been a very important part of this lineup.
Yeah, big confidence booster in midweek as well. In the first Citizens Cup game, they advanced as well as Central. But that does give your team a boost, and both teams are on a high from that today.
Showing some good defensive work there is Jabari Watson just screening out. So it's going to be a goal kick by Terence Lewis. Of course, Terence Lewis would be the assistant coach of St. Benedict's College and the goalkeeping coach. So very experienced campaigner.
Yeah, they will need his experience, especially with the absence of Trim today. He will be their leader from the back. Of course, the captain. He'll need to have a monster game today.
Good skill here, combining well, but then the commentator's curse just going out of play.
Yeah, we always seem to get involved in those types of situations. But positive from both teams today. Good one for the neutral so far, that's for sure.
Ball played through.
I think he just stopped because he thought he was offside, and indeed he was, if he did try to attempt to get involved in the play. But again, there's that high line from point Fortin. I think the idea there is to squeeze the midfield and not allow Neptune, Antoine, David, and Rushford to operate in those pockets. They want to compress that midfield. That's the reason for that high line. But it does run you the risk of being played over the top and having a foot race. So it's something they must coordinate well.
Well, it's going to be Terence Lewis to take this one. A goal kick for point Fortin. Banged upfield. Headed clear. Ball just going out of play. It has been a very mixed start from them as they continue to attack here. Ball aimed at Young Jones. Watson able to have good possession here. And then it's broken up by Antoine.
Yeah, Watson looks a competent replacement for Trim at the back. He's composed. He has a good physique. He's read the game well so far. So in the early stages, I've been impressed with him. He would need to be on his P's and Q's to keep out the likes of Rushford and Tyrone Charles and company tonight.
just headed clear. Brought under control. So not afraid to play the ball around here, but it's given away. Tyrone Charles into the back of the net. And just like that, Tyrone, Ronaldinho Charles, the man from Point Kumana, puts Central up. What a dangerous outfit they are.
Not what you want from your right back, not in these early stages. Nothing has troubled them so far, but an inexplicable back pass. Short on any real power to get back to the goalkeeper, and Tyrone Charles was alive and made no mistake with the finish. Absolute gift for him.
Well, it was the Point Fortin team just playing around, getting a bit too overconfident and paying the ultimate price. When you're playing with a strike force the like of Central, all they need is one whiff, and they're off and running here as they lead 1-0, a goal scored by Tyrone Charles.
That's such a shame for Point Fortin, who started brightly, to give away a goal of that nature. It really is deflating sometimes. Such a shame. What was he thinking? Still a long way to go, Gordon. A lot of time to pick themselves up and get back in this one, though. And they've shown enough to say to Central FC that they must be cautious. So perhaps the only positive in that is it came early on, so you have enough time to drag yourself back in the game. And they have responded positively. They've continued to go forward. They haven't just lumped it long. They've been confident enough to play the ball on the park. They're looking for little pockets to get into. They got the willing running of Niles and Williams. Those two are a handful.
Central to Neptune. Douglas cuts inside. A shot. Is he onside? He was just offside there. John Paul Rush just straying into outside position.
Offside, yes, but totally unmarked. So yeah, good move from and yeah, Russia just drifted into offside position. Drifted all alone, worryingly for Point Fortin, but unfortunately also drifted offside.
Ball kicked forward. And it's just put into the gap. Watson, he's been very good for this point team at the back. Niles, always exciting, always ready to go for a bit of a run. He has two for company. He finds the exciting Kellen Williams. Kellen Williams up against Merez. Tries to go past Merez, but he got to be better than that to go past Malik Merez. Very experienced now, this youngster.
Yeah, solid defending. Got his body in the way, stepped across. Extinguished the danger really quickly there. But again, more signs from that duo, Niles and Williams. They got to be careful, Central FC, not to take their
in possession here. They lead 1-0. A goal scored by Tyrone Charles as Neptune picks up. Refreshing the ball with Jack. Jack in possession, looking for movement. Finds Jesse Williams, a bit of a bubble there, but he's able to control it. Goes long, and it was aimed at Charles, but it's headed clear, and it's going to be a corner. So they continue to apply the pressure.
Yeah, I would love to see the point Fortin line dropping a little bit earlier to anticipate that long pass so they're not running towards their goal to defend that ball. That's the sacrifice you make when you play that high line. It's got to have that communication between keeper and back line to manage that space behind that back four. That could be a challenge for them today, and it's cost them a corner.
Well, it's going to be John Paul Rushford. He's going to be taking this with the right boot. It's going to be curling away. The big guys, they've loaded the area. Ball is banged in, headed on, but it's easily handled. But they get another chance to put it into the danger area. Early ball. Tyrone Charles, brilliant save there by. It was Charles again rising highest. When you have the threat of Charles, Jack, Russ Russell, as well as Malik Merez, corners comes like goals. These set pieces so important, but it's going to be David.
Yeah, fine save there from Terence Lewis. Superb ball from John Paul Rushford. Great shape, great power, great swerve on it. Tyrone Charles just had to direct it, but cat-like reflexes from Terence.
This one driven, not the best of corners you would see. But he'll get an opportunity here. The silky smooth David. Not cleared. Merez! Malik Merez adds a second. Central, they're large and in charge. Point Fortin, not clearing. They gave them more than one bite at the cherry. Finally, it dropped to Merez and he put it away. So Central, they lead 2-0.
Scrappy from Point Fortin, unable to clear their lines. The initial ball in, everyone stood waiting on the official to bail them out. He didn't, and that momentary lapse, that procrastination, cost them the shot, cost them the goal. Here's the hesitation from their part, and after that, Central were just queuing up. Intelligent, just to get out of the crowd. Take it to the side of the massive players.
You would have played with Malik Merez, and you know what he can do from set pieces.
Yeah, that's a striker's finish, really, from the centre back. Tyrone Charles would be proud of a finish like that.
So Central possessing the ball like a rondo now. No great hurry to go forward. They have the 2-goal advantage and all the time in the world asking Point to come and get the ball. David, he goes back to Jack. Jack all the way across, finds Merez. Merez finds Williams, who finds Rushford. Rushford cuts inside. And then just rolls it to his skipper, Neptune. Neptune wider. Russell, ouch, trying to get that one over. It's been hit. The wingback has been hit in the unmentionables, the family jewels. We all know how painful that can be.
Yeah, he'll be down and out for the count with that one.
He's rolling over. The referee giving him some time. When you look at the point Fortin bench though, a sorry sight. They don't seem to have a physio. The head coach on the team sheet is none other than the legendary Steve David, but he's sitting comfortably in the stands.
Yeah, it's a strange setup that, and that kind of sort of translates itself onto the field, onto the players. You don't get that energy and that vibe, and when it's a little bit chaotic, a little bit disorganized off the field sometimes. And I think they might be suffering from that a bit. Without looking too threatening, Central are leading 2-0.
They're
That
still
could be
maintaining possession, showing that they can play plenty. Brent Plenty asking his team for a bit more here. Good defensive header by Merez. Falls to Neptune. It's broken up. Watson trying to get young Williams going. Now Rodanfa Point find themselves at the bottom of the table. Last season they had a massive sponsorship by the Petrochin, not the Petrochin, sorry, but the Heritage team.
Yeah.
The Heritage. Were they sponsor? Niles, the keeper comes, does well. How do you go from having a massive sponsorship one season to this state of affairs here now, Rodan?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Heritage Petroleum, they posted $940 million in profit at the end of September last year, and yet they pulled their sponsorship from Point Fortin. Imagine if some of these young guys, Watson and Niles and Williams, had that kind of backing behind them. You know, what could they achieve this year? Them and other players, of course, they weren't able to hold on to their senior guys, and now they have a bunch of young guys who are trying to navigate and negotiate this league all by themselves without the help of that sponsorship, and of course the senior players that sponsorship would have brought. And it's a shame, really. It slows down their development, slows down their progress. And you see they're willing, they're vibrant, they're energetic. You see the promise and talent there, but it hasn't been backed up with finances, and probably their training setup has suffered as well. And as a result, they haven't been able to perform as probably they could have with that support.
Well, it's the Point team. Credit to the lads. They've continued to battle. Up next, though, we're going to see Defense Force. Defense Force, there are three teams in action. Their top tier, their second tier, and their ladies team. All leaders and unbeaten this season. I think it says something about the organizational skill of these teams more than just on the pitch. They're winning on and off the pitch.
Yeah, they've been excellent this year with all of their teams. It's been a different level this year with Defense Force. They've been a cut above the rest for sure. And again, as you mentioned, that's off the field stuff, obviously translated on the field. If you take care of business off the pitch, the chances of on the pitch stuff happening for you is so much more. And that's exactly what has happened this year with them, all throughout the different leagues and all throughout the different teams.
It was Douglas there with a bit of an opportunity. It goes over. Now, we're going to stay on the game. It's MIC Central Reboot. So they're doing something positive in terms of off the field. They have three names, so they have a lot of sponsors there. And also, when you look at them, they're second, trying to hold on to the second place. They're being brought under some pressure by a revitalized miscellaneous police team. As the Ttpfl Tier 1 continues to grow year after year. They're into their third season post-COVID. And as we look forward, I think if this season is anything to look forward to, I think we're going to see a kickstart of local football, especially going into the World Cup, Rodanfa.
Yeah, it's definitely been competitive all the way through, and each team, each player pushes the other to raise their level. And we've seen that this year again. Of course, Defence Force, as I said before, cut above the rest, but that second and third place is up for grabs. I think 5 teams or so still in contention for that. With 3 games left, it's going to be very tight, a very tight finish for those 2 regional spots. That, of course, the Caribbean Cup, the second spot gets you that, and the Caribbean Shield if you finish third. And yeah, that experience when you qualify for the regional competition, you take that into national team football, you get a bigger spotlight on you, and it all goes well for the national team. I just hope that this year that the local teams are able to step up. The last 2 years they haven't been able to. There's been the trouble with the scheduling. The Pro League finishes at the end of May into June, and these Caribbean competitions don't come around till July, August, and that little lapse in competitive football time is really quite damaging to your rhythm and your match fitness. So I'm hoping they could fill that gap with something really positive and give them a better chance of performing well in this regional competition.
Rodan, as we look to the World Cup though, how difficult is it for a homegrown player playing in the local leagues to press to get into the World Cup squad from here on in?
Yeah, with 4 games left, 3 games left for the league, it's a chance for you to push into the thoughts, into the mind, into the eyesight of the national team coaches. Such a massive opportunity. So much football this summer. There's the Gold Cup, there's the Unity Cup in London. Of course, there's World Cup qualifiers. There's a lot of football, national team football
Neptune,
to be played.
It's into the hands of the goalkeeper, Terence Lewis. So these are the important questions that we must ask as the Ttpfl continues to grow. Remember, you're watching the Ttpfl Tier 1 action right live here from the Arima Velodrome. It's all on Wave TV. So remember to like, subscribe, and share for all your sporting, local sporting activities. As Young Jones tried to set something up, but it's easily broken up. And Neptune is able to bring it forward. Douglas, driven across, finds Rushford. Rushford trying to return the pass. It was aimed at David. But it falls to the skillful Niles. Niles always one up for going for a run, taking on the Barchester Williams, but he wins out easily and dispels that attack.
Good defending there from Williams. Niles again, not afraid to take his man on one-on-one, but sometimes he's a little isolated. There's not enough help around him and Williams to form too much of a threat. I think Central have finally sorted that problem out. Have some problems on their own to sort out as well. Ross Russell Jr. perennially getting down that left flank. And of course now they have a corner to end with. It's important for Point Fortin to stay in this game, not to concede here. The next goals could probably mean lights out for them.
Ball lifted back in. Williams keeps it alive. And it
a shot across.
seems to have gone a bit off boil. Young John Paul Rushford. I think coming from QRC, you'd have think that he would have already cemented his place in the national team and would have probably been playing at a higher level, Rodan Farr.
Yeah, I think consistency or lack thereof is the Achilles heel for him. You see his talent show up so often, but not often enough. He does fade out of games. We'll see today if he does stay influential in this game all throughout. Defensively, some question marks about him, but no question marks about his prodigious talent. That's there, but is the mentality there? Is his ability to work hard every day and be consistent? Is that there? Those are the question marks for him surrounding John Paul Rushford.
Back across, aimed at Jones, times his jump, and Antoine is able to clear, finds the silky smooth David. David got a great touch on him, find Rushford, who brings it across to Douglas. Douglas goes back to Jesse Williams. Antoine looking for movement, and he goes back to his keeper. Just maintaining possession, Central. They in no great hurry. They lead comfortably, not under any real threat. Antoine. Shaq. Goes crossfield. Williams would have played most of his football in the United States of America, but he's come back home to revitalize his career. He's just gone off the radar, so he's come back closer to home to ensure that the national team coach Dwight York and Russell Ttpfl sees him.
Yeah, Gordon, it's really difficult when you play in foreign countries. They expect you to be twice as good as the local players, and if you don't show up every single game and prove that every single training session, every single game, they simply replace you with a local talent that they don't have all of that worry about, including accommodation, flights, all that stuff they don't have to worry about with local players. So you have to prove your worth. You have to be almost twice as good as the local players every single day.
Ball is played through. Young Williams! Oh, just wide. Keller Williams has gotten 2 bites at the cherry already. Fresh off a hat trick in the first Citizens Cup. But today, he cannot get it into the right corner.
Yeah, one-on-one with Myers, just gets the better of him, wriggles away, left foot, unfavored left foot, couldn't quite wrap it around that ball and curl it into the far post. Sees it drift wide. That's a massive opportunity, not the first one he's had.
Oh, what a difference a couple days make. On just Wednesday, he was banging them home, but today he can't find a goal after doing everything right on 2 occasions, rounding the keeper, and this time getting the better of the experienced Malik Perez. But that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, great, outstanding approach work, good one-on-one skills, managed to wriggle away, but again, the finishing touch not quite there.
Comes off of Niles. It's going to be another corner. So dangerous from set pieces. This Central reboot.
Yeah, this team has sort of gone off a little bit off of Point Fortin. Difficult to keep up that pace. And it seems Central more or less grab control of the game, dictating possession, not necessarily being overly threatening, but
it's a universal sign for far post. Just headed clear. Back to David. He'll get another chance to put it into the danger area. Does so. Jack is on the far post, but coming up strong and claiming is Terrence Lewis. Bangs it forward. Aimed at Williams. Williams winning out that battle. Definitely one for the future, but then he loses out, and Central is able to come forward, but they lose out, and the possession is given away. So as we approach a halftime interval, the sting being taken out of the game, Central seem quite happy to just possess the ball. No great urgency to go forward. And the Point Fortin team, their plan to hit on the counter has just hit the wires, because Central is not inviting them to come get the ball, but they're afraid of the pace of Central up front. So they're just sitting back on line 2, and Central quite happy to play the ball side to side. Just then they get the commentator's curse, ball given away cheaply. Williams, he gives it back away cheaply, and Central able to come forward.
This is where they're dangerous.
Yeah, maintaining possession here. Neptune finding David. Silky smooth he is. Tries to do too much. And the ball goes all the way through. And if you're down 2-0 and your keeper is taking his time with the ball, that tells you the intention. No ambition here by the Point Fortin team. Central is not going to come for the ball. They've decided that they can sit on their 2 goals. If you want to come and beat them, come and beat them.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're almost trying to put the game to sleep, trying to put Point Fortin to sleep, and then maybe catch them while they're napping. No impetus for them to go forward, really, so they're happy with possessing the ball.
The 2 youngsters, Williams and Jones, trying to combine. And here comes Central. The flying wingback in Russell Jr. Good strong tackle though. He had to get it right. Right, he did.
Yeah, good timing on the tackle. A bit of a lunge, but he did get the ball, an all ball, fortunately for him.
So it's going to be
but
a
that's
corner.
the danger for Point Fortin as well, when they do commit a few bodies forward. There's not enough effort and legs for them to get back defensively, and that's a grand invitation for Ross Russell and Rushford to get forward. And if they catch them on the break, I think they will be in big trouble.
I think you need to have the ball attendance here. It's memories for the youngsters. It also builds the passion. Ball across, oh, it's off there. Pause. It seemed to have gone in from that was Tyro Charles, but it came off the upright and out, back into play.
Yeah, fine delivery, but where was the marking? He stood on the 6-yard line, absolutely free. He didn't even jump for that one.
Continue to lead here. A comfortable lead it is. The scorecard will say 2-0, but it's more comfortable than that. Ball threaded through, but it goes all the way through. And Terence.
Yeah, we have another look at the corner. Stood there, absolutely saved by the wood. Not even a yellow and red shirt inside. Goalkeeper Terence Lewis would be livid with that effort from his defenders.
Point Fortin, they are at the bottom of the league. And there's nothing wrong with being at the bottom of the league. Someone has to occupy that position. But the performances, and with just about 3 matches left in the league after this one, I think it's a sorry sight, really.
Yeah, Gordon, here, look at who they have to face next. It's Club Sando, then Defense Force, then Police. It doesn't get any easier from here. So it's going to be a tough run-in from them to get out of cellar position.
But it's Central continuing to come here. David goes back to Williams. Williams cuts inside, finds Rushford. It's given away cheaply. And that's the halftime whistle. So at the half in this one, Central comfortable 2-0 leaders in this one. Redan, for your thoughts?
Yeah, they are comfortable after some initial scares from the Point Fortin attackers. It sort of settled down into one-way traffic, really. The steam has gone out of Point Fortin. They look deflated, especially after that first goal. Disappointed me to concede that first goal, and that sort of set the tone for the rest of the half. Conceded another, and we look down and out. It will have to be a hell of a team talk to get them back in this one.
Well, we're going to the break. When we come back, we'll have second half action live right here on Wave.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection. Bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
Weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more. Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more. Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoke.
Central reboot. They're leading 2-0. They got Fortin. Rodanfa is the first half really a sorry story.
Yeah, the players would have come back out and wondering if they were in a different planet because we had a massive torrent in the halftime, so it's slippery out there. Quite a bit of rain over the halftime break, so it might change the dynamic of the game a little bit. The ball is going to be zipping around a lot quicker, so it's going to be tricky. Got to get your body behind the ball early. You might want to think about following up with your shots as well. It's going to be tough work for the goalkeepers.
So it was the tail of the first half, and the man in goal, it's not Bryce, not Jabari Bryce, but Levi, who's putting on, who's in goal. And the change for the Point Fortin team, it's Trim. He did not travel, and instead it's Bailey who comes in for Trim. But the Central team, they are large and in charge here. Halftime shower, just livening up the pitch. This ball is aimed at Dominic Douglas. He cuts inside, ball across, but it's just cut out there by Plenty, but it falls back to Douglas. And then finally, the Point Fortin team able to reset. Ball cleared forward. Russell Jr. just barging over young Daniel Jones, of course, the son of a strike squad player, Philbert Jones. So he has a good footballing pedigree. But it's going to be a free kick here for the Point Fortin team. They found it very difficult. And they've decided to go back to Brent Plenty. Plenty bangs this one forward. It's cut out by Antoine. Dropped nicely to Rushford. But then the keeper does. Brilliant save there by Terrence Lewis. The youngsters combining nicely here. Unable to keep it in play was Daniel Jones. So the youngsters, they're continuing to play.
Yeah, but dangerous signs for them at the back. A little extra fancy from the defender there, almost playing himself into trouble. You mentioned the pitch early on, and yeah, it's going to quicken the pace of the game. The ball is going to be zipping off. It's good conditions to play football. It's well grassed. There's a little area that would give you a bit of a bubble, but the field does lend itself to good football. What Point Fortin have to do is be as positive as they were early on in this half as they were in the first half. Maybe they could grab one and get some momentum from that and maybe make a game of it.
John Paul Rushford. David finds Rushford. Is he onside? The flag is stayed down and he puts it away. John Paul Rushford. He adds his name to the scorecard. It's 3-0. It's raining goals here at the Arima Velodrome as MIC Central Reboot continues to pulverize the Point Fortin team. It was a brilliant pass through by David, and Rushford, the man of the moment, was able to slot home and make his team 3-0.
Yeah, just as I said, what Point Fortin needed to do, that's exactly what they didn't need to do, concede. A simple goal, really. They just stood still, hoping to be bailed out by the linesman, and he didn't help them out there at all. Well-timed run from Rushford, and fine finish. He still had a lot to do, and he dispatched that ball really well. Excellent finish from young Rushford.
Trying to answer back there. The youngsters, the exuberance of youth, it's one of the advantages of having youngsters on your team. They don't seem to quit. They continue to fight back every time. Central, though, they've cleared the bench. They have their whole bench up, so you can expect the substitutions. Just on the hour mark. Ball played through Charles. Still Charles. Charged down by Plenty, and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, they have to find a way to stop this tide of Central attacks, or else we could be adding up the numbers at the end of this one. It's going to be difficult for them now, conceding so early. It's difficult to lift yourself out of that. They would have wanted to start it positively. That has not happened. And they have to find a way to be resolute, not to concede again too close to the last concession and probably bounce back, find their way back into the game, keeping it simple.
Far side. So it's going to be a goal kick. And the rain have taken the sting off the pitch. And I think it's taken the sting off this game as well. As the point team seem to have gone flat. David, strong tackle.
Ouch.
The referee was right on spot. David is up quickly, gets a quick restart going. And it's Dominic Douglas just shooting into the defender.
Still committing bodies forwards, 4 up against 4 at the moment.
Niles, but then Jamal Jack with a strong tackle.
When it breaks down, they're a little bit thin in midfield.
Central, no great hurry. You're seeing no urgency by them. Just happy to maintain possession. Rushford finds the flying wingback in Russ Russell Jr. He goes back to Rushford. Rushford, nice 1-2. He's onside, but across. Oh, and it's our own goal. So to add injury to insult, insult to injury, it's an own goal now. And a point find themselves 4-0 down.
Yeah, such a shame. He did lunge in an attempt to cut out the pass. Surely it would have been a tap in for Tyrone Charles, but inadvertently put it into his own net. It's really a product of him not getting in position quickly enough and having to lunge instead of being there already. And that's the inexperience you get with these young guys. I know they're really staying down the barrel now.
So here we go again. Point down, 4-0. Daniel loses out. They just seem unable to even clear their lines here.
And Williams, still willing runners.
Ball played
not
inside.
Enough support around
Cut
them.
out.
There's Niles again. Looking for options, looking for options. It's ambitious. Maybe a symptom of their plight at the moment. Desperate strike there.
It's become
Quite
a
a
walk
long
in
way.
the park here for Central. And just as there are stormy clouds overhead, I think the Fortin team are having stormy times here. That's a brilliant ball through, but a good defensive challenge. Credit to the players, they've stuck to their task. They've continued to battle on.
It's much too easy for central midfielders at the moment. They're playing through them and they're not forcing them to play around them. Big gaps in the middle of the field. The central defenders are now standing, hoping on a bailout from the linesman. And it's not coming. They're timing
last
their
couple of
runs well,
occasions
the
we
central
saw
attackers.
taking the corners, but I think they will go back to Rushford, the dead ball specialist. Really, he's awesome from these sort of areas. Has been a bit off the boil with the earlier ones. Let's see if he can find his inside, and will it be kept in place here onside? And ball back across. Finally, it's cleared. Goes all the way back. Jesse Williams. Fine Jamal Jack. Chinks it forward. He's onside. Rushford. Still Rushford. And he's able to pick the pocket of plenty. And then he's in a battle. Brent Plenty able to win out, but he gives it away cheaply. Back to Merez. Merez floats this one over. David. And it's just deflected wide. So they're unable to clear the lines this point, Fortin team.
Only just.
And Rushford will get another opportunity to put this ball into the danger area.
Central team licking their lips here, seeing an opportunity to get on the score sheet, to run up this score really. Point Fortin look ragged at the moment.
Whipped across, and keeper comes, does well. But they're unable to clear their lines at Point Fortin. It's wave after wave.
This time they're saved by the offside flag, but fine ball in, great idea. 3 Central players queuing up at the last post. The Point Fortin defense have completely gone missing in the second half so far. Very worrying signs for them. This could become embarrassing.
The keeper, Terrence Lewis, has gone down, coming out the second best in the clash with the Central player.
Definitely wouldn't want to lose him, your most experienced player and captain.
In the meantime, the Central bench, a long line of players are changing their jerseys. So it's going to be a mass substitution. In the meantime,
yeah, just to have a look at that incident. They're queuing up at the last post. Goalkeeper Lewis seems to be okay now. That's a relief for Point Fortin. I don't reckon they have a replacement on the bench for him. Let's hope he's fine, and it was just a little bit of a tactic just to take this thing out of the game a little bit because they were under a lot of pressure. Substitutes for Central FC preparing themselves, so that pressure is not going to be abated anytime soon.
Ball played through, and Levi comes and claims easily, rolls it short to Merez. Williams goes back to Merez. He comes across to Jack, and Jack finds Ross Russell Jr. Neptune just taken out by the substitute, and he gets his name in the referee's card for the wrong reason though.
Yeah, perhaps given the instruction to get a little closer to the Central players, got a little too close there. But it's good to see some energy from a player in yellow and red. That's what they started with. That's what gave them a little bit of success early on in the game, but that has gone out of their game for sure.
Ball restarted, and Lewis comes and claims at the edge of his area, and bowls this one out long. Niles loses out easily to Williams. Williams running at the heart of the defense.
Excellent by Williams once more.
Finding Ross Russell Jr. Neptune And then the ball just given away cheaply. The Point Fortin team haven't put a high price value on their possession as they go back all the way back, and it's gonna be Jack as we see the champions 2024-2025 Defense Force just walking out. They've got their strut on. They're coming up against Club Sando in the nightcap. What a season this has been, as there's a number of substitutions about to be made, and we see Gary Griffith Jr. entering, Kadima Black Magic Corbin as well as Emmanuel Django Thomas. So 3 substitutions. Out is Dominic Douglas, as well as John Paul Rochford and Jamil Antwine. So
yeah,
it's more
Coach Boy's thinking, of
like
course,
for like.
The game done and dusted, and just getting some fresh legs in there after their midweek exertions in the cup.
You know that you're looking for goals, and it's Corbin applying some pressure. Ball cleared out, but only as far as Moraes. He gives it away to Williams. Williams goes past him, and he's going to find himself in the referee's book without a doubt. Moraes, yes, and the referee, although he took his time to make the call, does the right thing. He was the last defender. This young Killan Williams, a very exciting find for Point Fortin. I don't think he'll be there next season. I think he'll be coming to Port of Spain. Not AC Port of Spain, but definitely to the northern part of the country.
Yeah, he's been a thorn in the side of the central back line all day. A little bit isolated at times. But good energy. She's shown good spirit. And of course, you know, he's had his chances. I mean, not able to get a finish on today, but he's been good all throughout. But back to that play, Mirez getting himself in trouble. He should be clearing that ball first time. Instead, he tried to control, a little bit of complacency, probably. And it landed to the foot of Williams and put himself in trouble there. And now he has a yellow card to contend with for the rest of the game.
Williams standing over this one. He's going to be going for goal. He's got an eye for it. He bangs this one over. Oh, it's up the upright. Young killer Williams. My goodness me. And it's driven into the arms of the keeper. This youngster, a super fine 4-point Fortin. He got 2 opportunities early on to put his team up, was unable to finish. But I've watched him for a couple of games, and he's an exciting find.
Yeah, outstanding technique to get it over the wall, and not quite under the bar, but ever so close. If there's anybody who deserved a goal today, it's him for his endeavor, for his tenacity. But unlucky there, just a few inches lower, and we would have been celebrating a well-deserved goal.
Williams again. Is he onside?
Yes, he is.
It was pencil close. The flag stayed down. So Point Fortin not going away. Good defensive work there by Moraes. Finds Gary Griffith Jr. Ball floated across. Finds Russ Russell Jr. As Russ Russell exchanging passes with his skipper. Can he keep it in play? He's normally lightning quick. He got it, but was unable to keep it in play.
Yeah, needed a slightly straighter pass, and with the damp surface, it skidded away from him. Got to take that in consideration when you're playing those balls over the top.
As the Point Fortin team tried to maintain some sort of possession. Russ Russell and that ball just going off of a Point Fortin player. It's going to be a throwing for Central. So this one more or less done or dusted. Just looking for the official scoreline when you come to a football match. You expect to see, even though the teams may be at different ends of the standings, but you expect to see them put up a battle. This Point Fortin team did not today. A no-show. Ball is through. Neptune trying to get his left foot going. And it just comes off a Point Fortin player and goes out.
Yeah, the Point Fortin, they showed a little bit in spurts, but not consistently enough throughout the game, and the experience and the quality of yellow really shining through.
As the champions get themselves warm. Ball floated through, cleared, but only as far as Emmanuel Django Thomas. He finds Guy Griffith Jr. He's going to go for a run here. Stabs it across, but it's given away. But then Django, he loses out, and Jeremiah Niles, one-on-one with the Prince Galland's youngster, finds Williams. Williams with a shot from distance, deflected, but it's easily handled by the goalkeeper, and he bowls it out to Ross Russell Jr. Central aimed at Ross Russell, but it's overhit. In fact, aimed at Guy Griffith Jr., overhit. To Tyrone Charles. Charles to Guy Griffith. It's dropped nicely here for David. He puts it wider for Ross Russell. Back across, open header. Tyrone Charles had the whole goal at his mercy. He headed it straight to goalkeeper Lewis.
An unmarked Tyrone Charles, not for the first time tonight. How disappointing is that from the point of view of Point Fortin? They've really gone off the boil. They've let the central attackers get in too easily. There's another example of that there, poor marking.
Jack. Ross Russell Jr. cutting inside, skips past one challenge. Gets a return pass, the ball across. And the ball goes out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, well worked. Ross Russell on his bike as usual. Little 1-2s, he's really good at that, and just drag this shot wide. Perhaps use the option of a cross instead. But at least Point Fortin on that occasion, having Central work for their opportunity, put him under enough pressure just to force him to drag the ball wide.
So the ball is thrown in. And it's broken up by Merez. Ball goes wider. Early ball, cut out by the defense. And then Griffith gets it. He's brought down, earns his team a free kick. This will definitely allow the Central team a chance to get guys in the box.
Maybe a bit of a chance for Point Fortin to catch their breath, maybe reorganize.
So it's David who's going to take this one.
aiming at the area behind the defensive line. Something on the training ground. Superb, superb.
As the substitute, Corbin adds a fifth. It was rolled across the area. Corbin with the one-touch shot and into the back of the net, and it's 5-4 Central.
Something from the training ground. Set it up well. The technique of Corbin, spot on. Inside of the foot, didn't try to hit too hard. Got his body over it. Flying attempt from Terrence, not enough. Outstanding, well worked, excellent fifth goal.
Well, for those of you who like boxing like myself, I'm remembering no mas, no mas. The cries of that famous fight. As it's really not only the goals, and Ross Russell Jr. is offside. It's not only the goals, it's the manner of the defeat. Eagles, they got 10 goals to nil versus the Army, but the manner in which these goals have been conceded, really, I think Civic needs to go back to the drawing board, especially when you have good talent like these two, Niles and Williams. Niles and Williams, two exciting young talent, but they need to get the proper platform to express themselves. They're still coming. Akinola Gregory plays that one through, but it's played back to the keeper. A heavy touch there by Emmanuel Thomas, but it falls to the ever-present talented youngster Williams. Williams with the ball across. Ball played through. Tyrone Charles shakes off one challenge, and then he puts it across, aimed at Ross Russell. He cannot get to it, and it goes out of play.
Yeah, for Point Fortin, maybe they're suffering with such a small squad. They don't have the riches of talent and the big squad as Central FC. And of course, they played in the knockout competition in midweek. That would have taken a lot out of them, and to play a game 3 days later, it's not easy on such a small squad.
So it's gonna be a throw in here. Point Fortin trying to take all the time in the world. Central, though, they've played the first line. They've gone up, so they're playing the press. They've not dropped off. But it's Niles. He's an exciting young talent. Can he pull one back for his team? He's busting into the area. Finds. Oh, that's well cut out by Malik Merez. Almost giving the Point Fortin faithful something to smile about.
Yeah, he had supported him on that occasion. 3 bodies up with him. To be fair to him, the runs weren't there. They were very stationary in the box. Didn't make that decisive move so he could find them with a pass.
Akinola Gregory. Ball threaded through. Beautiful ball. He's onside. Shot from distance. Levi able to handle it easily. And they roll it out. Corbin finds Griffith. Griffith putting on the fan. 1 fan, 2 fan, 3. But it's short. It falls to Williams. Williams, a very dangerous customer. Good tackle. No call by the referee. Is he onside? It's cut out. David exchanging passes with Ross Russell Jr. and they go back. David. So just pulling the sting out of this one. The fans here already beginning to look forward to the Defence Force Club Sando game. Still Rick Griffith. Oh, no call. It was right in front of the referee assistant.
It's up there, but no call given.
Seeing it. Well, this victory is gonna strengthen Central second place position in the league.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted out of a game like this. The 3 points, confidence, some goals. You never know, with 3 games to go, it's quite tight at the top there. It just may come down to goal difference. So these goals that they're accumulating here may become crucial. For Point Fortin now, it's more a case of damage control. Trying to get the positives out of this one, of course. We've mentioned Niles and Williams often in this game. They've been real sparks for their team, but not enough support around them. They missed Trim big time at the back today. His leadership, his organization skills at the back there were desperately lacking today. That's the difference between the Point Fortin team I see today and the one I saw last week against Caledonia. It's truly been a disjointed performance from them. They look a bit tired. It's disorganized. It's really quite ragged at times, to be honest. And for Central, no rush anymore in this one. They can take their time, pick their passes, and try to pick apart Point Fortin and add to their tally. So much acreage, so much space. Dogged defending, not very organized, but dogged and enough to get them clear. Yeah, that would probably be the pattern from for the rest of the game. Central sitting back a bit, trying to hit on the break. But they have offered Central after the first 15 minutes or so way too much time and space in the midfield to choose whatever pass they want to. The runners Tyrone and Neptune and David, they've timed their runs well.
Shot from distance. Well saved by Lewis. Out. And the Central team able to reset. So they're just taking their time. The game is over by the shouting.
Yeah, for Civic, they don't want to just sit back.
Not much
and
to be said here. As Point Fortin try to just ensure that they get on the scorecard. Another infringement there. Strong tackle by the youngster Williams. As 2 substitutions about to be made. Morez comes off, and on comes Joshua Alexander. That's number 27. And it seems like Tyrone Charles is going to be replaced. So Tyrone Charles to be replaced by Josh Williams. So Josh Williams goes on, as well as Joshua Alexander, like for like. Morez taking his time to come off. Morez with a goal and some good defensive duties. They seem to be going into a back three, the central team. So with no real threat from Point Fortin, they decided to go into a back three. The former Woodbrook Secondary man. He went Woodbrook Secondary and then went on to play for Trinity. A couple days ago, he reminded me his very first goal was against Trinity in the outside field of the National Stadium, the Hasty Crawford Stadium. Point Fortin. Trying their best here. The fans have continued to come in here at the Arima Velodrome.
Yeah, it's good to see the crowd trickling in. It's important when you play there, you look up in the stands and there's accountability, someone to play for, folks to impress.
A free kick here. Akinola Gregory just going for seniority here. Rolls it across. Niles back across. Headed out by Jesse Williams. So it's going to be a corner.
Something from the training ground for Point Fortin as well. Not as effective as Central set piece, but they're doing themselves a corner. Perhaps a chance to reduce the arrears.
It's getting a lot of height. Back across by Plenty. Kept alive. Plenty. Trying to do plenty, but doing a bit too much. Jack shows it back to Williams. Finds his skipper, Neptune. Neptune walking the ball forward. Finds David. Going for a bit of a run here is Williams. Can he keep it in play? He does. Rolls it across. Guy Gifford Jr. with the shot. Brought down, no call by the referee. A delayed call. He had a long, hard look at it. Decided that it was an infringement. So Radanfa, this one just meandering to the end.
Yeah, I think Point Fortin would love to hear the final whistle sooner rather than later. Central not showing a lot of attacking intent. They seem content with seeing out the game as is as well. But yeah, the Essentially, both teams just waiting on the final bell.
So it's going to be a free kick here. Banged into the wall. And here comes point.
Chance up on the break.
Niles.
4 against 3 just for the moment.
Still Niles. Aimed at Williams. It's Bottle. But the flag has gone up. Alexander playing it down. Jack. Back to Williams. Ball through to David. David aimed at Corbin. Corbin blows past his man. Arriving. And it's Neptune. So Jamil Neptune, the skipper. It's a top 6 here as Neptune adds a 6 for his team. They lead 6 goals to 0.
Yeah, well worked on the right side. Willing runner in Corbin. Deceives his defender, who's a little overzealous in his challenge. The runs come first, middle and last post from Neptune. Timed this pass, aimed this pass perfectly, and no mistake with the finish.
Five plus 1 is 6. Not much time left in this one. They go back to Levi Ferdinand. Fernandez, sorry. And it's Ross Russell Jr. Ball just cut out. Is he onside? The referee got it wrong there. The ball was passed by a defender to Ross Russell Jr. He was in an offside position, but the defender was in control of the ball and passed it. He was not offside there.
Yeah, the pass forward came from an opponent, so there's no way he could be offside.
Should have been able to decide that that ball was passed by a defensive player. In the end, it's a free kick for Point Fortin. Terence Lewis taking his time about it. He's already picked up the ball from his net some 6 times. He would not want it to be a 7th. Good piece of control. This Point Fortin team have played well in spurts. You're seeing that they're not doing enough reps. Williams, his confidence is high, just like the ball. As he fired over.
Yeah, they've done well in small periods of the game, but that's not enough at this level. You have to put pieces of the game together and be more consistent
So
throughout.
all
If
eyes
not,
on the referee. Soon we'll see how much time would be added on. Jack finding Ross Russell Jr. Akinola Gregory trying to give the tall cap. That's a brilliant ball. Does it have enough backspin on it? No. And Lewis able to control.
Four minutes additional time signal for Point Fortin. That 4 minutes can't go quickly enough.
Ball across. Goes out. Is it going to be a corner?
Should be.
It definitely will be.
Central, no doubt, will want to preserve their clean sheet. They have a little bit of defending to do still. But that'll be a big one for the keeper who's replaced Bryce today. He can put that forward for his case for the next game.
Ball floated, headed clear. Shot from distance, flashes over. It's going to be.
Yeah, desperate attempt. As time winds down here, nothing much to play for.
There's a good turn by Neptune. The early ball. Find Josh Williams. Ball just kept in play. Ball banged out. Jack gets it first. Terrence Lewis in no hurry. He's already conceded this game.
Yeah, full quota goals conceded from him tonight.
Commanding header there by Jesse Williams. Corbin, David, back to Corbin. Corbin leaping it. Was Russell Jr. banger, but pushed over there by Terrence Lewis. Always up for the battle.
Yeah, maintaining it at 6. They won't want to get any more. But well worked again from Central. Too much space afforded for them in and around those areas, especially in the second half, and they've taken advantage of it on every
Ball
opportunity.
Across. And well held. They're coming in waves, but it's just put over. And that's the final whistle. So at the end of it all, it's Central by 6. Central reboot. They've won this one 6-0 versus Point Fortin. Civic, we're done for your thoughts.
Yeah, Point Fortin, the writing was on the wall for them in minute 15 when that errant back pass was punished. It was all uphill from there, and too powerful a showing here from Central FC. They took apart a ragged Point Fortin team, and they're good for their 6 goals tonight. Comfortable in the end.
Well, we're going to the break. When we come back, we're going to have the second match in tonight's doubleheader.
Perfection, bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
too.
Welcome back to the nightcap as we get ready for the Defence Force up against Club Sando. Defence Force, they've already been crowned champions. They're just looking to finish off the season. Of course, they're unbeaten, not perfect, so they look to finish strong here at Rodanfa. This one is an interesting encounter because Club Sando has not given up hope of at least clinching CFU position.
It's important for them in their chase for regional competition to get something out of this game. Defence Force, of course, definitely would want to stay unbeaten throughout the season. They've been a cut above the rest, let's be honest. They earned their guard of honor this evening as they came out. And yeah, they've been far and away the best team for the season. With their lineups, I haven't seen much changes. One or two, Keller is in for Goddard. I see Coriat back in there. So it's full steam ahead. They are not letting up. It's not a matter of rotating their squad or making too many changes. They are unbeaten throughout this entire season.
Well, with that, we've got the starting lineups for you for the Defence Force. The man in goal, Isaiah Malik Williams, Blinky as he's called. He'll be sporting number 1 jersey. Sporting number 10, none other than the iconic Kevin Molino. Number 4, getting back into the starting lineup, Joshua Arahu Wilson. Number 11, Kaim Thomas. Number 12, Isaiah Bongo Leacock. Number 13, Rivaldo Korat. Number 14 is Kendall Hitlala. Number 17, the old boy, Curtis Gonzalez. Number 18, Rian Moore, sorry. Number 26, Justin Garcia. And rounding up the starting lineups, Casimir Keller with the number 37.
Yeah, that's the lineup that we spoke about, being as strong as possible. They're not holding back here. They want to go for it. They want to be victorious. It's not a matter of rotating the squad at this point. It's about finishing the season strong, staying unbeaten, and amassing as many points as possible.
And we've come another opportunity here where we're seeing that Kevin Molino is saying that the ball is a bit soft. They would have started the game with the same balls that would have just played. It's a bit of a replay of the last time we saw them.
Yeah, that's a peculiar one. We just played an entire game with these same very balls, so I can't see the issue. Surely the officials check these things before the game, so I don't know if it's Kevin being a bit of a diva and a little bit extra, or he really has a case. But they've switched the ball nevertheless.
Well, it's the ball all the way across to the Club Sando. In fact, it's Club Sando who's playing in these bright yellow colors. And picking up that ball is Henry. He slips this one through, the ball across. Oh! And Darren John, it was with a bit of an opportunity there. Darren John had the opportunity. He just pulled it wide. So a beautiful opportunity for Club Sando to go 1-0 up.
Yeah, big chance, early chance. Darren John, perhaps he might have thought about using his right foot instead, but went for his favorite left foot, and that ensured that the ball was dragged wide at that far post. Under some pressure, yes, but it really was a one-on-one chance with the keeper, and he would want to at least force a save from the custodian there.
Yeah, well, we got the starting lineups for the Club Sando team. In goal, Tishon Arago. He'll be sporting the number 1 jersey. Number 19, Shivanez Hamilton, the captain. Number 3, Josiah Cooper. Ball driven across. A bit of a heavy touch there. And Jimenez able to win out. It's broken up. And Curtis Boy Gonzalez just banging that ball off of Jaron John. So we've got number 3, Josiah Cooper. Number 4, Jaron Pascal. Number 5, Elton John. Number 9, Shaquille Henry. Number 10, Keron ball press Cummins. Number 16, Luke Phillip. Number 20, Jabari Henry. Number 24 is none other than Jason Joseph. Seems like Jason Joseph, though, has come out, and in has come Jaron John. We'll confirm that for you. But in the meantime, the action continues here. And what a season it has been for the defense force. They've dominated everyone this season, Rodan, for quite a performance.
Yeah, they've averaged almost 4 goals per game. That's an extraordinary stat. 67 goals across their 18 games so far. And surely they want to extend that record here tonight. For Club Sando, though, they're in hot pursuit of a third place spot. They still have to play San Juan Jablate and another direct rival for that third spot, Miscellaneous Police. They also have Point Fortin in that run-in in the last 3 games. So it's still alive for them, a bit of an outside chance. But if they get something out of this game, that could give them the impetus to give them that last push in this final run-in towards the end of the season.
Yeah, the defense force, though, credit to them. They've been able to do everything they need to do and do it well. They would have just run off the boiler with 2 draws.
Yeah, but those 2 draws were an exception to the rule, and the rule this season was a defense force W all the way through. Bags of goals. They have had the penchant to concede every now and again, but they always manage to somehow outscore their opponents. Saved by the bell there, goalkeeper. Just offside.
Shoot wider for me now. Shoot wider. You stay wide, yeah. You stay wide. You just stay wide. Just give me the whole field.
It's a big threat for Club Sando today. Striking prowess of their number 9, Shaquille Henry. He's been decent throughout the season. They've heavily relied on him, and his pace and his raw speed is really a big threat. Does pack a punch with his shooting as well, as you just saw.
Interesting clash. So even though Defense Force have won the title, a lot to play for in this game. As Korat plays it back to Garcia. Garcia finding that was Isaiah Bongo Leacock. Going for a bit of a run here, and it's going to be a corner. Referee McPhee is back in the middle. One of your favorite referees, Ranford.
Certainly not my favorite. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. Credit to him, though, he's normally right on spot. Yeah, the decisions, though, may not be on spot, but he's physically very close to the play.
He's had a combative relationship, let's call it that, with some players. And I always feel like it's better to have a more harmonious relationship with the teams that you play with and that you officiate every weekend.
Ball floated across. Just headed clear. And that one goes over.
Early pressure here from Army. Another corner. First one was delivered way too short, easy to deal with. They'll hope for a better delivery here. Justin Garcia loitering around the last post. He's definitely a threat. Always a threat from these areas. Follow-up shot is eventually scrambled clear. Yeah, early examination for the club Sando defense, but they've passed so far.
Of course, that's one thing you can expect from this defense force team. The coach, Ttpfl, has done an excellent job really to rally the troops. There's a number of things that persons don't understand the dynamics of a defense force team. The first thing, you've got a head coach who's a civilian, never was a soldier or defense force personnel. So that comes with its own challenges. Add to that the dynamics of players following that coach into the defense force team, such as Joshua Rao Wilson, and being part of the core of the team, you know, displacing the likes of the defensive midfielders that were there, Sando, example.
And Goddard as well.
And Goddard, who was a national walking at the time.
Yeah, of course, it shows a little bit of a shift in culture of the Defence Force football team. Of course, their captain is a civilian as well, Kevin Molino. And you can't say that it hasn't brought them success because they've won the title, wrapped it up with 4 games to spare. They've exceeded all expectations in Denzel Theobald's first season. So that little bit of a shift certainly has helped them, helped their football, that's for sure.
Yeah, able to play for, and when you look also at the totality, you can't forget Flight Lieutenant Ryan Otley. Ryan Otley, the Flight Lieutenant who's taking over the management of the team, because not only the top tier, the tier 1 team has done well, the tier 2 team is also leading. After that, the women's program unbeaten as well. So it's a total, I don't want to use the name of the sponsor of the league, reboot, but it's been a total reboot of the Defence Force team in more ways than one.
Yeah, certainly the background staff has changed their ideas, the culture, as I said, of the Defence Force setup has been altered a bit this season. And that has lent itself to this kind of success that they've seen on the pitch.
Well, being a media man myself, I was blown away by their social media program, really. You know, it was really up to date and upbeat. Last season, Police, they took the lead in social media, but it was more a personal, flashy, should I say zesty, for lack of a term, that Police social media. But this Defence Force has been totally professional. Up close and personal, in your face, but still showing the personal side of the players and really creating heroes and superstars for the Defence Force team.
Yeah, something for the other clubs to emulate. You know, in this age of social media, it's so important to connect with your fans through that media, and they've certainly done that, and it's brought the players closer to the fans, and it's made it a lot more interactive and palatable.
I think the signs of the success of the field will not only be the 2 hydration sponsors that they were able to get, but also when you look at the stands, when Defence Force is playing, you see the stands being a little bit fuller.
Yeah, they carry their support wherever they go. I mean, whenever you play attractive football, when you win football games, people are going to come to watch. And they have certainly done that this year, and every time they go out, everywhere they play, they usually bring a crowd with them.
Well, they are on the ball here. Kaim Thomas into the skipper, Kevin Molino, putting on a bit of magic. Skips past the challenge there of Pascal, bursting into the area. No call by the referee. Falls to Karen Baldpest Cummins. He goes wider. Ball back inside to Jabari Henry, and it's overhit there by Cummins as he tried to go back to Jason Joseph.
So yeah, Gordon, just an evidence there of part of the reason for their success. They could always call on somebody like Molino to provide a little bit of magic. His creativity, his guile in those tight spaces could always open up opponents. He's somebody that demands high standards from his teammates as well, and he's very infectious with the way he communicates with his team and always pushing the others to raise their level.
Well, it's there he is on the ball. Korat able to retrieve it for him, and it's Justin Sugar Garcia. It's his header that sealed the deal for the title this season.
And if your memory goes as far back as season 1, it also did that just on this venue as well against AC Port of Spain in the final game. The setup for Sando is just as we expected. It's a little bit conservative from Angus Eve. They look like they're set up to hit on the break, inviting that defense force team forward and using the speed of Henry and others to break here as they do.
Well, they've got an opportunity to come forward. Shot from distance, but it's easily handled there into the hands of goalkeeper Williams. Williams by this time he had to be the third keeper to 2 national goalkeepers in Christopher Bigat and Jabari Saint-Hilaire conceded some goals in possession, and he finds himself down the pecking order.
Yeah, he's taking his chance well. He played in the last game and clean sheet, of course. That's equivalent to a hat-trick for an outfield player, so no reason really to change him. He's taking his opportunity well, and I'm sure he'll want to push to cement his spot for the rest of the season, and then looking ahead into the Caribbean Club Championship. Keep your nose in front of the opposition, or the competition rather. Another test here for the Sando defense. Third corner here.
Not so wide now?
Yeah, not too wide. Just so it was too close. So the play was taken.
Set up as a left-footed Arajo Wilson corner. So it's intentional that it's an in-swinger on both sides. Eventually cleared. It's a little half shout for handball off the ricochet. So yeah, you have a look and you see it's 9 players in that very condensed midfield area. They leave Shaquille Henry up alone by himself when they defend. Draw the opposition forward, and the intention, I'm sure, is to hit on the break.
A bit of a heavy touch.
Or punish a mistake like this. Oof, clumsy.
Keith Henry finds ball pass Cummins. Cummins treads it through Darren Jordan. The keeper came bravely and took it off the feet of the player.
Nice and alert, quickly off his line. Clean challenge as well. Expertly done by the goalkeeper.
The ball just going back into the keeper, and they're just able to reset and restart.
So that's the danger you will face any Club Sando team or any team coached by Angus Eve. They're going to draw you in, suck you out of your defensive shape, and then quickly on transition they attempt to break.
Just out of the reach. Can he keep it in play? He does. And puts him on his buttocks. That's Jason Joseph, the prison officer, veteran now, would have started playing under Angus Eve at the under-23 level many years ago. A team that included the likes of Kaleem Highland as well as Kevin Molino. But Jason Joseph, he's stayed loyal to Angus Eve. He's followed him anywhere he's gone. Always have a spot for him As you see, he's playing a right back position here.
Yeah, very experienced, versatile, tidy player. And being versatile does help you. And that does come with experience as well.
Ball played across. Henry heads out, and heading it further was Joseph. Cummins gives it away. He's not been as tidy as we've expected from Karen Ball press coming. Walls past his man. Kaim Thomas floated. And Joseph just has to head it clear. Will it be kept in play? It is. Nice work there by Williams. But he's just fouled. Now, Rodan, for the loyalty to coaches, we saw that Didier Drogba and Mourinho, following Mourinho. In fact, Drogba had gone off to China or one of those Asian countries, and he came back and won the Champions League for Mourinho. That loyalty to a coach, have you seen that a lot in the local game, though?
Not necessarily, but what you have a lot of the times is a good relationship between the coach and the player. The attributes you look for in a player, if the player displays that day in, day out, then obviously you would fancy him being in your teams. You know, if he has those ideas, those qualities, and he can share it with the team that you're coaching, of course you're going to want him in your team, in and around your roster, sharing your ideas and your identity. So that happens often. I'm not sure locally, but certainly internationally, players often follow coaches.
So, ball played over the top. It's a foot race. Is it Keller? Cuts inside. Korat finds Molino. Charged down. Committed there by Jaron John. Cummins finds John. John has a good motor on him. He's up and down the park. Pascal Cummins wider to Joseph.
Well played.
Joseph aimed at Henry, and it's chested back into the arms of goalkeeper Williams.
When that ball does get played up to Henry, can Deron John and the opposite winger get closer to him? Because who is he going to head it down to? It's difficult for him to control, and he's going to be double teamed by Garcia and Gonzalez. So when they do get that ball up to him, they need support quicker to him. Ball press Cummins, they got to get up to him, make sure he can lay it off. If not, he's going to be outnumbered, he's going to be bullied. It's going to be a hard time for him.
Referee McPhee just having a bit of a conversation there. He was having a conversation with Hitlal, just telling Hitlal, control yourself, young man. Losing out there is Luke Phillip. But it's Justin Garcia finding Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to get the ball through to Isaiah Bongo Leacock. Henry bangs this one forward, aimed at the other Henry. That's Jabari Henry, aimed at Shaquille Henry. Jason Joseph, strong tackle. So they have Justin Arahu Wilson, he's playing a wing-back position. No Jelani Felix.
No, that's a change from the last game. Whether it's a product of the midweek cup game, we don't know. There are a couple changes today, but no change in quality, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. Loads of quality, should you say. Lots of riches. On the bench, that the Defense Force team, they've loaded with quality from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's a good headache to have as a coach but it's something that you need to manage well because top players always want minutes on the pitch.
I was just about to get to that. How do you manage the emotions and the egos of players such as these when you've got so much good players, the ball played through? When Brent Sam was called up for the national team, he was not starting for Defence Force. And in fact, the leading goal scorer of the league, and still is, that's Isaiah Bongo Leacock. He was the starter. After he was called up for the national team, Brent Sam got the nod.
In that instance, I reckon it's just the coaches looking for a particular type of player, a particular profile. I mean, for a striker, I suppose the only thing that counts is goals, but perhaps in that instance, they were looking at someone as a target man, a bigger, more physical presence.
You know, I understand. I totally understand the reason for Dwight York calling Brent Sam. But what I'm saying is, how do you manage now that Brent Sam is on the bench, the national striker is on the bench? How do you manage that dynamic as a coach?
If I'm Denzel Theobald, I am playing who suits my system, who suits my team the best on any occasion. What the national team does, it's something completely different from what my club as the coach and the manager of a club does. But what's important for the manager is to make sure everybody's pulling in the right direction, understanding that it's a team effort and everybody will get their chance and has their role to play. That's not the easiest thing to do, as you said, with egos and everybody wanting to play at maximum minutes. But
it's an opportunity here. But Williams comes and claims bravely. So Defence Force, very even match thus far. Just about 25 minutes gone in this one. The scores, if you're just joining us, Defence Force 0, Club Sando 0. Club Sando in their bright all yellow outfits. The Defence Force in a bit of a jazzy dark jersey as Molino looking to jazz things up here. He skips past a challenge and the referee calls late for the infringement, and he walks across to talk to Chivinez Hamilton. I think the referee assistant on the near side would have signaled that to referee McPhee. Well, you can look at it. You can look at that play for yourself and decide if it's a foul or not. A heavy touch by, yeah, definitely a foul.
Late lunge.
He was late. In fact, he was lucky not to get a card there, Rodolfo.
I think so as well, because very late. I think he waited on the flag from the assistant referee. I don't think he was even going to blow for that. But definitely a foul, late lunge. Caught out of position. That's what happens when you are. The best defenders never have to tackle because they're always in the right place.
Ball across the area. It was Justin Garcia getting his head to it. He's so good from set pieces, Rodolfo.
It's no secret to the rest of the league now. He always positions himself in and around the back post area. I suppose he takes advantage of the fact that the other defenders are eyes for the ball, and he sneaks around the back. He's very aggressive in the air. He times his jump well, so that gives him a bit of an advantage. But there's no secret of where the ball is going to go, so certainly the defender should be coping with this a little bit better.
Well, the ball is banged upfield by young Ragu. Ragu, of course, from the Maruga area. He would have played his football in the South Zone. What a difference a year it makes for him. Last year, in fact, the earlier part of this year, he was playing in the South Zone with Maskell's Academy. And now he's the mainstay of a pro team that is doing quite well. Definitely since the carnival break, they've turned the corner, the proverbial corner, and it's tracking down a top 3 place. Ball floated in. It's not cleared just yet. Finally, it's cleared, but there's only a yellow jersey there. Joseph. Wider to Williams. Williams. Shot from distance. Oh, just flashing over.
Vicious from that ankle. But to the point about Ragu and him taking his opportunity here with the big boys in Tier 1 football, it shows how much quality there is even in the zonal competitions. There's a lot of talent around, and it's just about finding the right environment for these players to develop and grow and understand the game better at this level.
Yeah, well, last game, when I was just commenting that Bongo Leacock, his first plunge at the top tier was at Real Westport, a club that I partially owns. I was reminded the ball is short. Squared back, Molino hit to the back of the net. Kevin Molino, he adds the first to this one. The Army, their leader, just like that, on the counter. It was a telling run into the area. Committed everyone. And Molino at the back post, just banging it into the open net. And defense force, they lead 1-0.
Yeah, good pace down the wing, full throttle, beating the offside trap, never look back, never turn back, and able to keep his composure, presence of mind to find the right pass, which was Molino. Timing of his run was perfect.
Yeah, it seemed to be Keller. No, it's Moore who's out there. No surprise, Rion Moore, lightning fast. He's definitely been tormenting that wing back on the far side. And his square back, picture perfect pass there. Committed the keeper and the central defense. And Molino just having the simple task to bang it home to the open net. Defense force, they lead 1-0.
Yeah, express pace from Moore as usual. It's hard to catch him once he gets going. And for the first time tonight, he's not turned back on his favored right foot. Attacking the byline, his drag back is perfect. Molino's finish is unerring as well. He's not going to miss from there, left or right foot.
So he climbs the table here, joining his teammate Isaiah Bongo Leacock on top of the goal scoring charts. Coming back home with Anfa, Kevin from the MLS, sat out a bit and then finally decided that he was going to play in the local league, and what re-entrance it has been for him.
Yeah, he's brought all that quality and professionalism that he showed over his career in America here to the local league. He's raised the level of his team. He's been the leader for them. He's been their talisman. Every time they were in trouble, they could look to him for a way out. He hasn't disappointed, that's for sure.
He definitely has done well. Kevin Nash Molino exchanging passes with Curtis Boyo Gonzalez. Ball just played out. It's going to be a throw in here.
Just back to the goal. There's a little bit of a mismatch out wide there with Joseph. He isn't the quickest. Yes, he has perhaps the experience, not his natural position. And yes, you may be versatile, but if you play out of your natural preferred position, you always are liable to make those types of errors, especially against a speedy player like Moore, and that's certainly a mismatch in pace out there.
A good run though, good outlet pass by Ragu to get Shaq Henry going, but well defended by the defense force.
Yeah, for keepers, the modern keeper, it's not about alone how you shot stopper and how you preserve your clean sheet, but you're the first line of attack. Your distribution has to be on point. Some of these goalkeepers play like number 10s.
Yeah, that was a brilliant pass. Cutting inside more. Finding Hitlal. Hitlal with the ball across. Just charged down. So it's going to be a throw in here for Hitlal. Ball thrown in. Molino goes back to Curtis Boyer Gonzalez. Molino. These two veterans would have played a lot of football with each other from the youth level, starting really with the Under 17 World Cup in 2007. Isaiah Bongo Leacock trying to do a bit too much there. He's just barged off the ball there. And Hitlal is going to find himself in the referee's book. Shaki.
Yeah, breaking up a possible counter-attack. That's the style of play that we're used to seeing from Club Sando. They got back in numbers to slow it down. I don't think that foul was necessary, but still went through with it. Earned himself a yellow card.
More. Keller. Aimed at Thomas, but it's broken up. Cummins finding McHenry. Karat goes back to Justin Garcia. Back to Karat. One-time pass finds Joshua Rao Wilson. Back to Justin Garcia. Garcia just walking the ball forward. So the defense force here, they definitely have their foot on the accelerator. They're controlling the pace of the game, Redan. Not only are they playing fast when they need to, but they're also slowing the game down and taking Club Sando out of it.
Yeah, no real worries for them so far. They've been in full control.
And Henry is playing very isolated. The offensive player, his front five, not getting close enough to him quick enough. So he's already trying to play on the counter, but when he holds up the ball, he's being swamped by only dark jerseys. No bright yellow jersey anywhere around.
Yeah, he's surrounded by Gonzalez and Garcia. Keller's back pressing on him as well. Kieran Cummins isn't getting quickly enough up to him. Yes, he's able to find a pass, but does he have the legs to get up in support as well? Even run beyond Henry when he holds up the ball. We haven't seen that yet, and that has resulted in a lot of turnovers in possession.
So it's going to be a free kick here for the Club Sando team. They find themselves down 1-0. A goal scored by Kevin Molino. Molino leading the Army not only with the armband, but with goal scoring as well. Hamilton goes back to Rago. Driven forward. A bit of a slip there by Rahul Wilson. Running on is Williams. Williams puts it across. And Cummins unable to get it on target there. That's a big miss there for the Club Sando team.
Yeah, this time Cummins does get on his bike and get forward, and that's the threat he does pose if he does get forward. And a player of his quality, you would bank on him guiding that past the goalkeeper instead. Past the first post.
Yeah, he went near post instead of opening up his body and go last post.
Yeah.
It was all on his favorite left boot. So he could have opened up his body just a little bit more. But we would be saying that from the comfort of the commentary booth. Remember, you saw him on his bicycle, really pushing to get into the area.
He was at full pace there. Not easy to control that finish. He did well to keep it down, but unable to direct it the other side of the post.
So it was just what we were talking about. Cummins getting forward and joining the attack. So it seems like they have the mic on the bench. So they would have taken the advice.
And that's what I expected of you as a number 10. You have to get up closer to your number 9, sometimes run beyond him It's not good enough to play up and you stand where last you played the ball. You have to get up and support. That's the modern game. You got to be physical. You got to be mobile. It's almost like you have to be an athlete before you're a footballer.
Yeah, most definitely the days of the Valderrama style player, just waltzing in the midfield.
There's no luxury players anymore. You have to be an athlete. You have to cover a certain amount of distance. Yes, the most important tool you have is your brain and what you do and how you think about the game and solve difficult problems during the game, but you need the legs to get around the pitch.
Well, it's defense force. They have the legs, and a man with lots of legs is Curtis Gonzalez. Finds Leacock, but it's cut out there by Jason Joseph. Jason Mouse Joseph, ball headed out, but Garcia wins out, finds Leacock. Molino trying to get Hitlal going. Good defensive work there. It falls to Henry. He's one-on-one with Curtis Gonzalez, turning one way then the other. Luke Phillip, young bright star. Pascal, he's not been as influential as you normally see him in the midfielder. This young Pascal as well. He's on the ball. Joseph. So defense. So Club Sando there, possessing well, bringing the ball past the press, played forward. Good defensive challenge there. Goes out of play. So it's going to be a throwing for the Club Sando team. So a good little pass of play for the Club Sando team there.
Yeah, that's well worked. They're showing that they're not just a team that can play on the counter, but they can possess the ball. And they do have the quality within their squad to do that. Very difficult to break down this defense force team. Everywhere you look, there's a solid block of dark jerseys.
More. He will blow past Joseph as if he's standing. But good recovery there by the defense of Club Sando. Jason Mouse Joseph, he stood up really. He said, I'm not going to go into that foot race.
No, not on that occasion, not in that instance. In that scenario, there's very little chance for him there.
Now, I think Coach Angaseve, I know he has a lot of faith in the physicality of Jason Mouse Joseph, but he got to be close to the player to enforce that physicality. When the player plays the ball long as Mo did just there was no hope of him getting anywhere near him.
In transition, that's very, very difficult to stop when there's so much room in behind you. And the ball and the player Mo is coming at you with no pressure.
Luke Phillip just clearing it, and the class of Justin Garcia there just pulling it in. Keller, Kaim Thomas turning nicely, finds Hitlal with the early ball, but it's into the arms of Rago. He does well.
Not sure if he was in two minds to either shoot or pass. He did neither there.
Well, Wilson wing that header. Pascal just losing out. Quickly take the free kick. And Keller finds Molino in the pocket. So dangerous in those little pockets. They are able to find the pockets so easily, Kevin Molino. Referee allowing, I don't know what advantage it was, but he allowing play to continue. Pascal. And not sure what's the call. Probably a handle ball. Ball quickly taken. Referee McPhee was engaging in some conversation. I think McPhee, he's in red. A team is in yellow, and another team in a dark color. He probably thinks he's in Parliament, indulging in a lot of talk not allowing the players to play Redanfa.
No, he just wanted it to be taken in the area nearer to where the infringement occurred.
It's going to be Cummins. Ball played through. Henry able. It's a call against Henry.
Yeah, too much use of the arms there. Curious call that.
I'll leave the refereeing out of my discourse for a while. And later on, if I have to mention the refereeing any more times, Redanfa, then we know what to think about the refereeing. I always say, when the game is playing, you must not mention the referee only if it's a female referee and she's running about quite well. You mentioned that. I don't think you would have been talking about the referee at all in a football game. It's all about the teams playing. I think anytime you have to mention the calls too often, then I think the quality in the center is not what is expected at this level.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever you mention the referee too much, that probably indicates that he's not having the best of games. The less you mention the referee, the better game he's probably having. But they're human too, Gordon. They also make mistakes, and that's very much part of the game.
Always, we know that part of our humanity. We all make mistakes. Sometimes, though, we tend to have character flaws, such as liking to be the center of attention. The players have prepared. Let them take center stage. You facilitate the process.
Definitely how it should be. Arguable whether it's always that way, but...
Well, its defense force are looking to be the stars of the show. They've already crowned themselves kings. Club Sando looking to spoil the party. Smek Henry finds Pascal.
It's much better.
Getting
Pascal,
closer.
Yeah, as soon as it gets up to him, they get up in support. Cummins was nearby as well.
Darren John just committing the infringement. And defense was just enjoying possession here. Ball goes wider to Moore. He's got Joseph. Joseph trying to stay touch tight. The right eye there. But he can only stay touch tight when there's pressure on the ball, so you get time to get so close. When the ball begins to come across now. And that's the halftime whistle. So at the half, it's defense force. They lead 1-0. Their talisman, Kevin Molino, putting them up 1 goal in the first half. Redanfa, a very interesting first half.
Yeah, generally defense force in control. Club Sando playing their usual style. Caught out that one time with the pace of Moore, and that's the difference between the two teams. They wouldn't be terribly unhappy with how things went, but they'll be disappointed to have been caught out in such a manner.
Well, we're going to break. When we come back, we'll have second of action live right here from the Arima Velodrome.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection. Bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection, bold, spicy and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection. Bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection. Bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky perfection. Bold, spicy, and utterly unforgettable. Dive into our local classics like steamed dumplings and provision, smoked herring or saltfish breakfast, hearty stews and coconut-infused sides. Only at the Jerk Bar, 38 Frederick Street, Port of Spain.
For all your catering needs, weddings, baby showers, sporting events, and much more, Rachel's Catering Services. WhatsApp at 715-0696.
Welcome back as we get ready for second action in this one. The Defense Force Elite, they're up against Club Sando. They lead 1-0, a goal scored by their skipper, Kevin Molino, in the first half. I'm Gordon Pitt, together with me, Redanfa Abubakar. Redanfa, a very interesting first half to this game.
Yeah, in the end, Defense Force, good for their 1-goal lead. Not too much in it, but we would like to see from Club Sando a slightly more aggressive approach to the game. Their formation could remain the same, but they must get support quicker up to the isolated Shaquille Henry. He's looked good in spurts. He has the tools to trouble the defenders, but he does need that support from Cummins and John on the far side in order to be a bigger threat than he is at the moment.
Well, it's Defense Force who started quickly here. Of course, Moore. Rion Moore. Moore just going out of play. It's going to be a throwing here for the Club Sando team. They throw it down the line. Cleared up. Kaim Thomas finding Leacock. And it was Molino just slowing things down. Korat finding Keller across all the way to Hitlal, treading that ball through, but unable to keep it in control was Isaiah Leacock. I saw Isaiah Garcia in the stands. He's when I asked him how are you in the stands, he's saying they're rotating players, looking to manage the players as well for the First Citizens Cup. Remember, that's midweek.
Yeah, and with such a big squad full of quality, you can't afford to do that.
Brought down. Oh, clean tackle there by Jabari Henry. The tackles being allowed to play here. One-time ball by Cummins, but it's well handled there by Joshua Rao Wilson, and he just runs it off as there are 3 players down, 2 Defence Force players and a Club Sando player. Seems like Leacock, he's the worst for wear. He is gone down. The other Defence Force player is back on their feet, back on his feet, as well as the Club Sando player. But Bongo Leacock, he went down in the area.
Yeah, victim of that last-ditch block from the
Look
defender.
at it there again. Oh, that was one of the challenges in the area. And so Leacock is not gotten up just yet. Finally he's up. You always want to see the player leaving on his own strength. You don't want to see him being lifted off. No signs of movement on the Defence Force bench, so there's no signal to that bench.
That might be a good sign for Leacock. Hobbling away quite gingerly, but nobody's warming up, so that's a good sign that perhaps he's good to go.
Joshua Rao Wilson goes back to Williams. He bangs it upfield. Headed on there by Moore. It was aimed at Molino. Jason Joseph. Is he onside? It was aimed at Williams. Karat goes down. They go back to Jabari Henry. He brings it all the way across and gets it to Hamilton. Hamilton finds Luke Phillip. Luke Phillip aimed at Shaquille Smack-Henry, but it was a bit overhit. Karat. Arahu Wilson. Curtis Boyer Gonzalez. Now you see when the ball was coming to Gonzalez, he took a quick look left and right. A sign of a good player.
Yeah, always aware of your surroundings, scanning, seeing the opportunities to pass, to play, to dribble, to take space. And this all happens before the ball gets to you.
Yeah. It's about 3 things that you got to have there. You got to have a good touch first. You got to be confident enough in your touch. Another thing, you got to be confident in the flight of the ball coming to you. And then again, you got to be confident in your ability to change your body shape easily. You know, a lot of people underestimate the importance of changing your body shape. Ball aimed at Williams. It gets to him. Around Wilson retreating. He's one-on-one with Williams. William cuts inside.
That's disappointing. He didn't get his head up. Darren John was barreling into the box from the far side, and if he played it in early along the floor, I reckon he would have met it, but didn't get his head up in time to see that run.
Luke Phillip turns away nicely. Got a very intelligent left boot. Hamilton just spikes this one forward. William comes and claims. Pulls this one out. And the defense force able to come forward. And you're seeing that Kyle Thomas showing that he can play a wing back. He's playing a wing back this afternoon. Defense force still coming. Ball across, just cut out. Kyle Thomas, he goes down. And the referee waves his hand and tell him play on.
Yikes. At first glance, that looked like a stonewall penalty. We have the advantage of the replay. And it still looks even worse on the replay. I'm not sure.
The ball was not even in play when the man was fouled.
Nowhere near the challenge.
My goodness.
And referee McPhee was on spot. Incredible that he missed that.
Well, it's Garcia. Keller goes back to Justin Garcia. No Isaiah Garcia today. He's resting.
Again, for all the players that they have rotated, they've maintained the spine of their team. That's Garcia, Gonzalez in the middle, Molino completing the spine with Bongo up front. So that hasn't changed. The players, the pieces have moved around them, but the spine of the team has remained solid and the same.
Finally, the referee whistles goes. And Justin Garcia. Well, it's Sando's ball. Quickly taken by Pascal. Across the Cooper. Cooper finds Hamilton. Hamilton bringing it back across to Jabari Henry. He's been decent this afternoon. Ball aimed at Henry, the other Henry. And it goes all the way through to goalkeeper Williams, who goes short to Gonzalez. It's Gonzalez just walking it forward. Looking for movement. Plays this one aimed at Hitler. But he's just ushered out. And it goes out. It's going to be a goal kick. And Club Sando going short. Cooper. And Gonzalez is going to claim it. Arau Wilson. So they're changing from a 4 to a 3 in attack. You're seeing Arau Wilson given the freedom to leave the left side of the field. Ball played forward. Gonzalez nearest state, and he'll just go back to his keeper. Smek Henry, always a willing runner, but he's going to be second to this race. And this ball just banged upfield. John Gonzalez. One thing you can't credit Club Sando for is the press. You realize that when the ball went forward there, Smek continued to pressure, and then the rest arrived, the brigade arrived forcing the keeper to go long. Ball played through. Is he onside? More is on. Good recovery there by Joseph.
Yeah, after initially being exposed once more. Definitely a liability. He's proven himself to be down that right side, especially against the pace of Moore. Interesting, a few plays back, Arao Wilson stepped into midfield. Very Pep Guardiola-esque in tactics, that one where the fullback inverts inside. Kaim Thomas could do that on the other side as well. I don't think that's a mistake from Denzel Theobald. Definitely very deliberate to have those two types of players in those positions where they can step into midfield.
Yeah, both would have played in the midfield this season, both Kaim Thomas and Justin Arahu Wilson.
Yeah, so from their starting position at what seems to be a wing back, they could now invert inside and make extra bodies in the midfield, and that has helped them dominate this game.
Yeah. I'm very excited for Denzel Theobald as a young coach. What I'm saying, his learning curve has been very steep. He's learned well. Of course, he's got the as we spoke about earlier, he's got the support in terms of the off-the-field support, the backroom staff support. But he's definitely not afraid to try things. And when you see him trying, he's also thinking well, Aradanfa.
Yeah, listen, it's all well and good. You have the tactics and how you want to play in your head, but if you don't have the backroom support and of course the players as well buying into what you want to try, then it's pointless, you know. So fortunately for him, he's had that with this setup here, so he's able to express himself tactically, and that's worked out really well for him and his team.
Well, it's more looking to express himself here again, and this one goes out off of Henry, and it's going to be a corner for the defense force. So the defense force, they're coming in waves now. The Club Sando team, their attacks have become few and far between.
So Moore has benefited from that tactical tweak from Denzel as well. With the inverted fullbacks, that gives him the license to have the wing all on his own and get an extra support in that half space between the 18-yard box and the first post. That's the pockets where Molino operates. That's the pockets where Coriat operates as well.
Ball across, and it's into the back of the net. Into the back of the net. Not quite sure what took place there, but it's congratulations all the way wrong, and it seems like it's Kevin Molino. He's added another.
Yeah, from the initial flick on from the corner, decent service into a decent area, and Molino drifting out towards the back post. Control finish.
So let's have a look at it here again. Molino, the goal scorer. Yeah, it was headed on. And Molino, he was all alone at the far post. It was headed on, and Kevin Molino at the far post. So he's gone top of the tree here, leading not only his team, but the lead in goal scoring. And Williams with the infringement. Well, just as we were saying that the defense force were coming in waves, the Club Sando team were able to withstand the continual pressure. They were bending, and finally they broke. Yet again, it was Kevin Molino, the former Columbus crewman, who added the second. He doubles the advantage and his tally for today's game.
Yeah, that's what it takes sometimes to break down a team, a set play. Club Sando have been resolute. Goalkeeper Aragu hasn't had an outright save to make, to be honest. So they'll be a little bit disappointed when conceding from a set play.
I think the headed on ball is what disrupted everyone. Club Sando. Karen ball press Cummings, a raking pass, finds Jason Joseph. He goes back to Henry, Jabari Henry. And Luke Phillip giving it away cheaply here, but he's able to retrieve it. Karen ball press Cummings, finding Cooper. Josiah Cooper, young Josiah Cooper. Ball aimed at Gerard John.
Cooper and Pascal have graduated from the National Under 20 team, and they've done well. You know, they're still learning the game, but they're both very enthusiastic, good students of the game. They have good ability and good talent, and they're under a good watch with Abdullah Phillips and, of course, Angus Eve. Both quite versatile.
Here comes the defense force, as it was Moore who was looking to bound forward. So some good work being done by Angus Eve and Abdullah Phillip on both benches here and in the commentary booth. Lots of Caledonia graduates. Does it mean that Caledonia has a good footballing mind at work there?
Now, once you've gone through Caledonia, you have a decent idea of how to play football in an entertaining way, and obviously both coaches have gone through Caledonia, so you see that on display in the way they coach and everything.
Yeah, Abdullah Phillip and Denzel Theobald would have been the heart and soul of Caledonia for many years. Almost Caledonia till he die. Add the name Rodan Fabubaka. And you know that it's a full Caledonia outfit.
I had my time with Caledonia. And I'd rather not say much more than that. But Denzel certainly and Abdullah Phillips, both servants of the club. In fact, Denzel Theobald was playing for Caledonia while within Leo Ben Hacker's team that he took to the World Cup. So that's credit to Caledonia and the football minds that they've developed within their ranks over the years. So many good players have passed through that club.
Well, it's the defense force with a rich history of their own. 27 league titles, 2 from 3 in this new dispensation of top-tier football. So they continue to dominate as they are on the ball here. Correct. Finding more every time you see the ball go across the more. Your heart skip a beat. Still more.
It's a good build-up.
Correct. Finding more. More trying to do a bit too much there. Ball played forward.
Trouble here.
Falls to Henry. Settles himself. Henry. Oh, and he puts it wide. My goodness me. Shaquille Smack Henry. He's did everything all right. The long ball, good control. He got the advantage because of a slip from Gonzalez. He was alone with the keeper. He stood him up, and somehow he managed to put it wider with the keeper already down.
Yeah, misjudgment from Gonzalez. Let Henry in. Tried to steady himself. The keeper stayed big, stayed tall, didn't commit himself. And the recovering Garcia threw off Henry a little bit, I suppose. But he really should be hitting the target from there. There's no excuse not to get your name on the score sheet there.
And there's a substitution about to be made. And going off is Hitlal. Jogging on the number 32. As we have another look at the missed opportunity with the goal at his mercy. How do you miss from there?
The truth is, he never got the ball under control. It was bubbling around, and that forced him to cut back. as soon as that happened, it gave Garcia a chance to recover.
And he putted that one. It would definitely been a very exciting finish to this one, because credit to Club Sando, they've not been totally outplayed. As it's showing Noel, in fact it's Cooper, Jamil Cooper, who's jogged on for the defense force. More barreling his way, finds Cooper. Cooper goes past one, still Cooper, he goes down, no call by the referee. He's not far away.
Does it even matter how close he is? That one don't look more of a slip than anything else. Half-hearted appeals from the defense force players.
Keller.
Oh, hello.
A lot of contact. Molino cuts inside. More. Losing out. Keller able to recycle. Finds Garcia. Correct. Shot from distance. Flashes over.
That's not on. Frustrated expression from his winger, who was wide open, expecting the ball to be played wide.
Nicholas Dillon, he's up from the bench, the big man. So it's going to be, I think, Smith Henry who is going to be withdrawn.
Maybe not. Perhaps they'll play both of them together because they don't need a goal to get back in this one. Not sure where they've resurrected Dillon from. He's been missing all season. I know a lot of guys have commitments outside of football, and sometimes it makes it difficult for them to get involved as much as they would like, but he's certainly a talent that has the tools, has the ability to be a decent number 9, but he never seems to be around long enough.
Well, it's Jason Joseph who finds Williams. Pascal is heavily strapped. He's not been as mobile as you've come to expect from Pascal. Nobody quite mobile. Cummins showing his quality. Henry Cooper aimed at Luke Phillip. Luke Phillip turning away from the pressure. Pascal and Luke Phillip getting each other's way. And Gonzalez able to come forward. Cooper. Jamie Cooper. And they able to go back. The defense force bossing the possession as Moore picks up. Turning away from the pressure. Moore. Early ball, but it's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Rago holds it forward.
Yeah, even if that's the game plan to break quickly, the service has got to be better. If not, you wait till your defense gets out, you set yourself up and you play again. You can't afford to cheaply give away possession. Guess what? You're defending again, you're chasing shadows again, you're wearing yourself down.
So the defense force here just bossing possession as they approach the 70-minute marker.
And you know what, that's fine if you possess it in the areas that they are non-threatening areas. Possession doesn't win you games, goals win you games. But when they do get to break, they need to put away their chances if they are to get back in this one, Club Sando. Here's an opportunity for them to do exactly that.
Cummins again, it's aimed at Henry, but it's straight into the arms of goalkeeper Williams.
And that's the idea. That's exactly how they want to play, but they just probably need an extra body, which is what Dylan is probably going to be introduced for. And a little more finesse, a little more accuracy on that pass that they're trying to attempt to connect in transition.
So it's going to be a substitution, and it's number 7 who's going to be withdrawn. So it's John. So you got it right, Rodolfo. I thought they were going to go like for like, but they've added another striker. So they've gone with 2 on the top.
Yeah, with 20 odd minutes left. Definitely need an extra body to help out Henry on top. Might thin them out a bit in midfield, but that's the risk you ought to take if you want to get something out of this game.
Ball still not cleared. And some good work there by Arahu Wilson. Very combative. Quickly taken there by Molino. And Arahu Wilson just badged over by Cummins. Ball goes all the way over. Kaim Thomas. Thomas with a shot. Rasping over. Now, Rodolfo, Kaim Thomas has been playing as a winger for the national senior team's setup. He's now playing for his club team as a wing back, as Luke Phillip. Ball floated into the area, just headed clear. So it's going to be a throw-in. How do you think that fits into the coach's plan, especially in a World Cup year?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. If you get selected as a winger, and then for the club team you play as a wing back, there are similarities, of course. Just one is more advanced than the other. But in this system, he is encouraged to play in midfield as well. So he isn't played as a defender per se, but it is almost like an attacking ploy to have him at that area where he could step into midfield. How he makes that adjustment in the national team as a winger, it's difficult for me to say, and that's a discussion he has to have with the head coach. But obviously he sees qualities that he can contribute in that position.
So we see one of the Defence Force players, they have stayed down, getting some treatment there.
I mean, of course, ideally, you like to play the same position you play with your club, with the national team, obviously, to get more practice at that position and all the rest of it. But that's ideally. And in the end, I think wherever the coach decides it's probably your best fit for the team at that time. I mean, you do your best, and that's as much as you can do as a player.
So there's going to be more substitutions, and on come Big Brent Sam. I think he's going to be replacing it's number 13, so Korat, who's going to come out. So they're adding more firepower. If not, let's see if they're going to change the substitution. First, they had 13 up. It seems like they're withdrawing. Well, we wait for that substitution. A lot of twinkling and tinkering as the ball is being bowled out. Early ball. Doing some good work there. Jabari Henry.
Yeah, he's been decent all game, paired with Cooper.
Cooper. Joseph. Back to Cooper. And they go all the way across. Hamilton, Pascal, Cummins. Try to choose, he onside, he's onside. And also off the post of the goal of the base of the post there. So Angus Eve almost looking like a genius. It was a beautiful through ball by Cummins. It looked a bit offside-ish. You decide at home. No, he's onside.
That's really well timed. Good call by the official here. We seldom give them credit, but I was spot on. So was the run from
Dylan.
Dylan, yes. But his finish, not good enough to beat the far upright. And that's two massive opportunities that if, of course, they're put away, they would have been level here.
So it's Rian Moore who's going to be withdrawn. And Big Brent Sam enters the arena.
So disappointed from a Club Sando perspective because they haven't conceded a lot of chances. They've been conservative. They switched it up. They've been more attacking, of course, a more attacking posture as Dylan has been introduced. They've had their chances as well, and you can't blame the game plan, but certainly the two finishes that should have been put away would have put a different score line and complexion on this game.
It's really the luck of the draw there. On another afternoon, both going in, and it would have been a game on. As the ball just goes out. It's going to be a corner.
Yeah, as a coach, any coach, your job is to get your players in the right positions, to give them the best opportunity to score, and the setup has done exactly that. They've carved out the opportunities, but the finish today just missing from Club Sando.
Kaim Thomas floated back into the area. Joseph just heads clear, but it only goes as far as a defense force player. The ball cleared out. Good defensive header. Brent Sam. Not happy with that call is Keller. But he decides not to protest too low or too loud. He runs off quickly. And another defense force player has stayed down. Seems to be Kaim Thomas. The physios for the defense force, they've gotten their miles in this afternoon.
Yeah, they've been busy. But back to the chances that both teams have created. Sando arguably have created the better chances, and they've failed to convert. Defense force, the champion team, showing why they're the champion team, putting away their two half chances, quality finishes, and that's the difference. That's the difference between good players and above average players. Making difficult situations look so very easy.
Well, this was the opportunity falling to Dylan, and Dylan did everything right. Inches away as it cannoned over the upright. But this is what champion teams do, Aradanfa. They're able to convert their half chances and spin the game on its head. The first half was evenly matched. Only thing separating them was a magic run by Rian Moore, a cutback, and a good finish by the skipper.
And then, of course, in this half, they're beaten by a set play.
Ball goes through, and keeper Williams just maintaining possession. So we're inside of 10 minutes now, remaining plus whatever time would be added on. Williams signaling to Brent Sam to make the run. Aimed at him. He heads on. Falls to Molino, but they're able to win out. Could his boy Gonzalez putting his body in the line there. Williams. And off goes that's Kaim Thomas, and on comes Goddard. So a signal of the intention. When Goddard comes in, you know it's the locks have come on the band.
Time to lock up shop.
Luke Phillip trying to get one last opener. Ball headed just wide there. Again, Smek Henry just running across the face of the defense, getting his head to it, but unable to direct it on target.
Yeah, Goddard will just sit just in front of the back four and clock that midfield, make sure nothing comes through. Congest that area that Cummings want to operate. And just see out this game.
Well, it's going to be a case of fronts and backs here for the defense force, because they have two big forwards in Isaiah Bongo Leacock and Brent Sam. So they're going to try to go direct. They decided to give up the midfield battle. Correct. Finding Molino. Cooper. Jamil Cooper, that is. And it's played out. It's going to be a corner for the defense forwards. We know that they are very dangerous from set pieces, especially when you see Justin Garcia getting forward.
He's ambling his way up casually. Of course, Sam, 6 foot plus. Leacock as well.
Yeah, there's got a lot of aerial power. You're talking about Brent Sam, Justin Garcia, Isaiah Bongo Leacock. Molino has shown that he can score with his head. But it's going to be Joshua Arao Wilson to take this one with the left boot. He's already scored directly from a corner earlier this season. Ball flew to the head. And getting his head to it was none other than Garcia. But it crashed off the upright. Again, as we've been saying all evening long, everyone from Ikakas to Toko knows that Justin Garcia is going to get his head to the corner, and yet he still does.
Yeah, Cooper was assigned to him, but in a good area with good pace. It's not easy to follow your marker without fouling him.
And there it was the delivery crashed off the uprights. So the defense force seem to have gotten these 3 points. The march to glory already completed, but the march to stay unbeaten still up for grabs. Hamilton, is he onside? Cummins trying to get his favorite left boot open. Pascal, good work there by him. Hamilton, is he onside? He is. Ball into the area. Ball floated, but Williams comes and claims easily. And that put paid to that attack.
That's disappointing. That's disappointing because they had 3 bodies in the middle, 2 overloaded at the back post, and the crosses way too floated, way too easy for keeper Williams.
Good defensive work there, excellent work. How often we said that about the back pairing of Cooper and Jabari Henry? Just committing that infringement there was Justin Garcia. Another substitutions to be made. They're bringing on 2. It's going to be Cordell Samuel, the grandfather of the league, just about 40 years. And coming on as well as Barkley, going off Luca Phillip. So Barkley, 37 comes on, and Cordell Samuel.
Last throw of the dice from Angus Eve. That's 2 attacking players on.
Ball played through Leacock. Sky down into the corner flag. Just letting the time tick away. And has he earned this team a free kick, or is it a throw-in? It's going to be a throw-in. All right, Wilson throws it in. Sam loses out. Cummins. Hamilton. Early ball aimed at Samuel. He's in a foot race with Gonzalez. The ball wins that race. Goes out for a throw-in.
So yeah, for the last couple of minutes, barring something really spectacular, it looks like Club Sando is going to draw a blank here today. That's going to leave them as a long shot for that 3rd spot and that final Caribbean spot that they have to compete with Port of Spain, AC Port of Spain, Jabloti and Police. Police and Jabloti that they still have to face.
Well, they could play spoiler, but it seems like it's just out of their grasp now. Correct, bounding forward. He's got Cooper wide, but he's deciding to go at the heart of the defense. Good defensive duties there by Cummings. Of course, Karen Ballpress Cummings, most famously known for the 2015 Gold Cup. 2 goals against Mexico in that outing.
Yeah, what a talent he is, and he really displayed it in that competition.
Yeah, he had an unfortunate incident later that year. I think that really robbed the Trinidad and Tobago public from seeing the full beauty that was the talent that was Karen Ballpress Cummings.
Yeah, absolutely. He had to be out of the game for a while and hot off the Gold Cup, unfortunately. That was the end of any opportunity for him to earn a contract, which, for my knowledge, was on the table.
Yeah, Orlando City. But here comes defense forces into the back of the net. It's Isaiah Bongo Leacock doing what he does best. You miss, he'll hit and score. Look at it again.
Miscue from the left back, and that powerful left foot forced it in on the first post of Rago. A little disappointing from him to be beaten from that angle. But take nothing away from the strike. Powerful, zipped off the damp surface. And that's 3 goals, 3 points.
And it's just what the doctors ordered. So it's 3-0. The defense force leading comfortably. The fourth official has already put up that it's going to be 3 minutes of added on time. So a minimum of 3 minutes added on time. As the substitute coming on is the number 18, Jeremiah Daniel. Off goes Karen Ballpress Cummings. But this just shows the quality and the class of this Defence Force team. They're able to arrest players off of the not only the starting lineup, but also out of the team, and still put up this grand performance. Looking to bag the double, already beginning to look down the road to the CFU.
Yeah, and there are 3 games left. They come up against Phoenix, Point Fortin, and Prison Service. You'd be a silly man to bet against them winning those 3 games and staying unbeaten throughout the season. That affords them the luxury of shifting their focus to the First Citizens Bank Cup. If I'm not mistaken, I reckon they have AC Port of Spain in the round of 16.
Yeah. Clash worthy of a finals. So early in the fixture, Raul Wilson just punched away into the side netting. Raul Wilson is so clinical with that left boot.
Yeah, very difficult to defend those in-swingers.
And the physios of the Defence Force did jog on again. The FCB Cup next round this coming Wednesday, as the play is up, and the club Sando team will have their free kick.
Yeah, in that FCB Cup game against AC Port of Spain, perhaps some sort of redemption for AC Port of Spain with their very feeble title defense this year. Chance to get one over on Defence Force. But they look a hard unit to beat here. They're full of goals, defensively solid. They've got 3 top goalkeepers in their squad. It's hard to see them losing here. Any of their final 3 games. It's difficult to stop this Defence Force train.
Well, that's the final whistle at the end of 90 plus. The Defence Force, they win this 3-0. They got their goals from Kevin Molino, a double by him, and Isaiah Bongo Leacock adding the 3rd. So it was Defence Force 3, Club Sando 0. Redan, for your closing words.
Yeah, difficult to slow down this Defence Force team. There's so much quality. They're able to sit players out today and still keep their level. They play with more intensity for longer periods than any other team. So that gives them the opportunity to always dominate. Club Sando had their chances today, not able to put them away. It could have been a different game tonight, to be honest, but in the end, I think Defence Force too strong.
Well, that's all we have for you here tonight. Remember, we'll be having First Citizens action during the week as we continue our coverage of the Ttpfl. Join us tomorrow as we bring more games live from the Ottobourne Stadium. Well, from all of us here, I want to thank you for viewing another edition of the Ttpfl live on Wave TV. From all of us here, good night and be safe.
Dine in, take out for flavors that transport you. Indulged into our meats marinated in our secret spice blend and slow jerked to smoky